Listen, speak, and learn English.
Hey there! Welcome back to the Listen, Speak, Learn English podcast. I'm so glad you've decided to join us today. I'm Emma, and as always, I'm hanging out with my good friend Jack.
Hey everyone. Yeah, it's great to be back in the studio, or, well, the home office, I should say. How's it going, Emma?
Not too bad, thanks. Actually, I was thinking about something today that I see all the time with English learners. They have the best intentions, right? They buy the books, they subscribe to the channels, but then life happens.
Oh, tell me about it. It's the I'll do it tomorrow syndrome. I'm guilty of that even with things that aren't language related. Like the gym. I mean, honestly, my gym membership is basically just a monthly donation at this point.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, the absolute magic of scheduling and building a routine. Because let's be real, waiting for motivation to strike is a losing game.
Right. Motivation is kind of a fair weather friend. It's there when you're feeling inspired on a Sunday night, but by Tuesday morning when the alarm goes off, yeah, it's nowhere to be found.
Precisely. So, Jack, when you were learning your second language, did you have a specific time set aside or did you just fit it in?
Honestly, at first I just tried to fit it in whenever, and you know what? It never happened. I'd get to 10 p.m., I'd be exhausted, and I'd think, I'll just do double tomorrow. But spoiler alert, I never did.
Well, that's just it. Our brains love patterns. If you don't give English a home in your daily schedule, it just kind of wanders around and gets lost.
That's a good way to put it, a home for it. So what's the fix? Are we talking about waking up at 5 a.m. and grinding for 3 hours? Because if so, I might need to quit.
Oh, gosh, no. Definitely not. In fact, that's usually a recipe for burnout. What I'm advocating for is the power of the slot, whether it's 20 minutes right after your morning coffee or 15 minutes before you turn out the lights.
So consistency over intensity.
Totally. Think about it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth for 5 hours once a week, right?
Well, I hope nobody does that. That would be painful.
Exactly. You do it for 2 minutes, twice a day, every single day. And that's why your teeth stay healthy. English is a muscle, Jack. It needs that regular, rhythmic attention.
I see what you mean, but I think a lot of people struggle with when to do it. Some people are morning larks, others are night owls. Does it actually matter when the practice happens?
You know, that's a brilliant question. Scientific studies usually suggest that our brains are more receptive to new information in the morning, but honestly, the best time is simply the time you will actually stick to.
Fair enough. I mean, if I try to study at 6 a.m., I'm just staring at words while my brain is still buffering. It's not productive at all.
See? For you, maybe a lunch break session or a commute session works better. But the key, the absolute golden rule, is that it has to be a non-negotiable appointment with yourself.
A non-negotiable appointment. I like that. Like a meeting with your boss, you can't just not show up because you're feeling a bit lazy.
Exactly. You wouldn't blow off a doctor's appointment just because you'd rather watch Netflix, would you? So why blow off your own growth? So, Jack, we were just touching on the timing. You mentioned you're not exactly a 6 a.m. person, which I totally get. I'm a bit of a zombie myself until that first caffeine hit kicks in.
Seriously, it's like the loading screen on an old computer. But you know, I've heard a lot of people swear by the morning routine thing. Why do you think that is? Why is it such a popular piece of advice?
Well, I think it's because the morning is usually the only time of day we actually have control over. Once you open your emails or step into the office, your time isn't really yours anymore, right? Other people start making demands on you.
That's a really solid point. By 4 p.m., you've had a stressful meeting, you're thinking about what to cook for dinner, and the last thing you want to do is practice conditional sentences or phrasal verbs.
Exactly. You've used up all your decision-making energy for the day. But in the morning, your willpower is fresh, even if it's just 10 minutes of listening to a podcast, like this one, while you're getting dressed.
Right, right. And I've heard this term, habit stacking. Is that what it's called? Where you attach a new habit to something you already do.
Spot on. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. It's a game changer for language learning. Instead of saying, I will study English, you say, after I pour my coffee, I will listen to 5 minutes of English.
Oh, I see. So the coffee is the trigger. It's like the coffee tells your brain, okay, it's English time now.
Precisely. It takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to decide to practice. The decision is already made for you by the routine.
I like that. It's less pressure. But let's play devil's advocate for a second. What about the people who are genuinely exhausted in the morning? Like maybe they have kids to get ready for school or a really early commute.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying everyone has to be a morning person. For some, the wind-down routine at night works better. You know, lying in bed, maybe reading an English article, or journaling about your day in English.
See, I actually find that quite relaxing. It's like a way to disconnect from the real world and switch into a different mindset. But isn't there a danger of falling asleep mid-sentence?
Well, yeah, there is that. If I try to read a technical grammar book at 11 p.m., I'm out cold in 2 minutes.
Totally, me too. So maybe the type of practice should change depending on the time of day.
I love that idea. Maybe the morning is for active stuff, speaking out loud, repeating sentences, maybe a bit of writing. And the evening is for passive or low-stress stuff, like watching a YouTube video or listening to a story.
That makes so much sense. It's about working with your energy levels, not against them. I think a lot of learners feel like if it's not hard work, it doesn't count. But just being in contact with the language is a win.
100%. It's that contact time that builds fluency over the long run. It's not about the 1-hour marathon study session once a week. It's about the 10-minute sprints every single day.
It's funny, isn't it? We always think we need these huge blocks of time. Oh, I don't have an hour today, so I guess I won't do anything. It's such an all-or-nothing way of thinking.
It really is, and it's so self-destructive. If you skip one day, it's easy to skip two. Then a week goes by, and suddenly you feel like you've lost all your progress.
Yeah, and then you feel guilty, which makes you want to avoid it even more. It's a vicious cycle.
Exactly. That's why the schedule is your best friend. It's not a cage, it's a safety net. It catches you when you're tired or unmotivated. You know, Jack, whenever I talk about scheduling, the first thing people say is, Emma, I'm just too busy. I literally don't have a spare minute.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, too. But I mean, let's be honest. If we checked the screen time on our phones, we might find a few spare minutes hidden in there, right?
Oh, don't call us out like that. But you're right. We find time for social media or checking the news. It's about priority, not availability.
Right. It's about making English a must instead of a should. Like, I should learn English versus I must check my English app for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And you can find these little dead pockets of time throughout the day. Waiting for the kettle to boil? That's 2 minutes of vocabulary. Standing in line at the supermarket? That's a quick English podcast.
I actually started doing that recently. Instead of scrolling through Instagram while I'm waiting for the bus, I put on my headphones. It actually makes the wait feel shorter.
That's a great tip. It turns a boring, wasted moment into something productive. And because it's part of a routine, the bus stop routine, it doesn't feel like a chore.
True. But what about when your routine gets disrupted? Like, say you're traveling or you have a guest staying over. How do you keep the schedule then?
That's where the never miss twice rule comes in.
Never miss twice? Explain that.
It's simple. Life happens. You might miss a day because of an emergency or just a really bad day. That's fine. But the goal is to never, ever miss 2 days in a row. Missing 1 day is an accident. Missing 2 days is the start of a new habit, the habit of not practicing.
Oh, that's powerful. I like that. It allows for a bit of human error, but keeps you on track. It's realistic.
Definitely. We have to be kind to ourselves. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. If you can only do 3 minutes today, do those 3 minutes.
It reminds me of that saying. I can't remember who said it, but it's something like, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly.
Yes, I love that. If English is worth doing, it's worth doing for 5 minutes, even if you're tired and your pronunciation is a bit messy that day.
Exactly, because at least you kept the path in your brain open. You kept the connection alive.
So, Jack, we've talked about when to practice, but I think where you do it is just as important. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to focus when your desk is a mess?
Oh, 100%. If I'm surrounded by laundry or old coffee mugs, my brain it wanders. I start thinking about cleaning instead of studying. Actually, I usually end up cleaning just to avoid the studying.
See, that's a classic procrastination tactic. But there's actually a science to this. It's called reducing friction. If you have to spend 10 minutes looking for your notebook and a working pen, you've already lost the battle.
Right, right. By the time you're ready to start, your motivation tank is already half empty.
Exactly. So part of my daily schedule is actually what I do the night before. I set my English book out on the table, open to the right page, with a highlighter ready to go.
That's smart. It's like setting out your gym clothes the night before. It removes that mental barrier. You just walk into the room and the task is looking at you.
Precisely. And it works the other way too. If you want to stop a bad habit, like scrolling on your phone when you should be practicing, you have to increase the friction. Put the phone in another room.
That's a tough one. My phone is basically attached to my hand. But you're right, it's a huge distraction. Even just seeing a notification light up out of the corner of my eye, it's over. I'm gone.
We're all like that, honestly. Our brains are wired for that hit of dopamine. That's why the physical part of the schedule matters. You need a designated English zone, even if it's just a specific chair in your kitchen.
An English zone. I like that. So when I sit in that chair, my brain knows, okay, Jack, no more memes, no more news. It's time to focus.
Exactly. It's a psychological trigger. And it doesn't have to be a silent library. Some people work better in a coffee shop with a bit of background noise.
Yeah, I actually prefer that. The buzz of a cafe helps me focus for some reason. But then again, if I'm trying to practice speaking, I might feel a bit weird talking to myself in public.
True, people might look at you a bit funny. Is that guy okay? He's been repeating, "The cat is under the table" for 10 minutes.
Precisely. So maybe the cafe is for the reading and listening part of the schedule, and home is for the speaking part.
Exactly. It's all about matching the activity to the environment. If you plan that out, you don't have to think about it in the moment. You just follow the plan.
You know, Emma, speaking of phones and distractions, there are about 1 million apps out there that claim they'll make you fluent in 5 minutes. How do those fit into a schedule?
Oof, the app trap. Look, apps are great tools, but they can be a double-edged sword. You can spend 30 minutes on an app and feel like you've learned a lot, but have you really practiced?
Right. It's easy to just tap on pictures and feel successful. But then you try to have a real conversation and nothing. Your brain goes blank.
Exactly. So in a good B2 level schedule, an app should be a supplement, not the main course. I like to use them for those dead pockets of time we talked about earlier.
So, like Duolingo while you're on the bus, but then something more heavyweight during your dedicated study time?
Spot on. For the main session, you want deep work. Maybe that's writing a paragraph about a topic you're passionate about, or recording yourself speaking and then listening back to find mistakes.
Listening to my own voice is the worst. Does anyone actually enjoy that?
No one. It's universally cringy. But oh my goodness, it is so effective. You notice things like a repeated or a mispronounced vowel that you never would have caught otherwise.
I suppose it's like a pro athlete watching film of their last game. It's painful, but it's how they get better.
That's a perfect analogy. And speaking of digital tools, I'm a huge fan of using your phone's calendar to actually block out the time. Don't just hope you'll find time, put it in the calendar like a meeting.
And set a reminder?
Definitely. But here's the trick. Change the reminder sound. If it's the same ping as your text messages, you'll just ignore it. Make it something unique.
Oh, that's clever. A specific sound for English time. It's like a call to action.
Exactly. And there are also these focus apps. I think one is called Forest, where you grow a digital tree while you're focused. If you leave the app to check Instagram, the tree dies.
No, that's so much pressure. I don't want to be a tree killer.
It's surprisingly effective. The guilt of killing a tiny digital tree is often stronger than the urge to check TikTok.
It's funny what works on the human brain, isn't it? We're so easily manipulated by little rewards and punishments.
We really are. So use that to your advantage. If you stick to your schedule for 5 days in a row, treat yourself. Buy that fancy coffee or watch a movie in English.
I like the sound of that. Positive reinforcement. It makes the grind feel a lot more like a game.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, if you aren't enjoying the process at least a little bit, you aren't going to keep doing it for the months and years it takes to reach that high level of fluency. You know, Jack, we've made scheduling sound pretty systematic today, but we have to be honest. Some days the schedule just feels heavy. You sit down at your English zone, you have your coffee, but your brain just says, nope, not today.
Oh, I know that feeling well. It's like hitting a brick wall. And I think at the B2 level, it happens a lot because progress feels slower. You aren't learning 50 new words a day anymore. You're refining the nuances.
Exactly. It's the intermediate plateau. When that happens, the schedule shouldn't be a burden. On those days, I tell my students, lower the bar.
Lower the bar? Isn't that, I don't know, giving up a little?
Not at all. It's about survival. If you can't do a 30-minute deep dive into grammar, just watch a 5-minute comedy sketch in English. Do something fun. The goal is to keep the streak alive, even if the intensity is lower.
Right, so you're still showing up for English even if you're not doing the heavy lifting. That keeps the habit from breaking.
Precisely. It's like going to the gym and just walking on the treadmill for 10 minutes instead of lifting heavy weights. You still went. You're still that person who goes to the gym.
I love that. It takes away the guilt, because guilt is the biggest motivation killer there is.
Well, we've covered a lot today, Jack. From finding your golden hour in the morning to habit stacking with your coffee, and even using digital trees to stay focused.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an eye-opener for me too. I think the biggest takeaway is that fluency isn't a destination you reach by accident. It's something you build, brick by brick, every single day.
Beautifully said. It's about that daily rhythm. So, to everyone listening out there, here's our challenge for you. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait for perfect conditions.
Right. Pick one dead pocket of time in your schedule tomorrow. Just one. Is it your commute? Is it while you're making breakfast?
Pick that time, anchor it to a habit you already have, and commit to just 10 minutes. That's it. Start small, but start today.
And remember, we are right here with you. Every time you tune in, that's you putting in the work. You're already doing better than you think.
Absolutely. We are so proud of the progress you're making. If you found this helpful, let us know in the comments what your English slot is going to be. We'd love to hear your routines.
Definitely. It helps the whole community stay inspired.
Well, that's all from us today. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us here at the Listen, Speak, Learn English podcast.
Catch you in the next one. Happy practicing, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Let's continue your English journey together. Subscribe for more lessons and watch this video next to practice your listening.